Details of these stories and more, including sports, entertainment, and a lot more international news, if you stay with us over the next 60 minutes. Let's begin with this particular story, which has been topical over the last few hours and which left several hundreds of passengers stranded early today. We know that the passengers were unable to go to their workplaces on time. Those who even moved from their homes to get to their markets and many other places were left devastated because of a strike by the transport operators who decided to park their cars in protest against fuel price hikes. We know that in many parts of the country, the decision by the drivers bit hard on many commuters. While the drivers are protesting the high cost of fuel, my colleague Ablekuma was at the Medina area and filed this report.
We are here at the Medina Zongo Junction and the Masalachi bus stop, to be specific, and it's past 7:30 a.m. and we still have lots and lots of passengers here who are stranded. Most of them are going to Accra, Circle, La Paz, and what have you. But some of them tell us that they've been here as early as 5 a.m. Others say they've been here as early as 6 a.m. also. But up to now, they've still not gotten vehicles to their various destinations. Of course, most of them are going to work and they are stranded. We are talking about the strike by the commercial drivers. Well, a few of them are working, but it has to be a survival of the fittest when the vehicle comes here. And that is the situation here. We have been speaking to some of the passengers here.
I'm going to Ablekuma, La Paz, and I've been here since 6:40. It's almost 7:30 now or so, and I'm still here. I just checked on Uber. Where I'm going, the price is 78 cedis, and I'm not ready to pay 78 cedis to that place.
I got a car from Otinibi American to Medina, straight car, and I got here. So normally when I come here, so I normally pick either La Paz or Kasuaka, and then I like to Ajolo and go to my office. So to get a car to Kasua, surely it's going to be zero. Since I've been here, I've not had any Kasua. There's another Kasua station behind where we normally pick a straight car to. And a lot of people are there, but there's no bus. I was even thinking of maybe pick a car and get to Shashi and see maybe from Shashi if I could get moto, and I will continue to Jolo.
I'm going to 37 Military Hospital.
So how long have you been at the bus stop?
For an hour now, and we are not getting car. The driver said they won't go because of the increments of the fuel. If you don't get car, we don't have any other option than to go back home.
I'm going to Accra, and I've been here since 6:30 a.m. and up to now I haven't gotten a vehicle. Today happens to be a strike for the drivers, all on the grounds of the government in power, increasing prices of fuel that they have always asked for a reduction or for stability, but the government is not doing anything about it.
I'm going to Agbobuluchi, AMA. I work at AMA, and I was there since 5:45, and I sat now. I did not get any car. Well, you can see the crowd here, so when the car comes, you run out, you will not get.
Some drivers have also been speaking with us.
Roaster, Yashishare, Obi call first, Obi call second. Jano Payme, na me a second car, and I'm a little free in some of my media bed. You could do some now say, I dare say I'm penning for no say.
I didn't hear of the message of the strike on time.
But how much the man information through Biao and send my own question.
Metia pa, Metia Fiam match, me sorry 3 o'clock in the bedroom. But my dasa, me sorry no, and I'm about to share, maybe share a man for you, Juma.
I realized other drivers were working, so I decided to work.
Taban, yes, and say, you are cost like in Idi, but you am perceive bed in doing sir. Jenny pay good crown. Yes, Renala, on Momodia sort, food and no better summer. And yes, sir, next week, dear. Nipani Abanantinako. Obi no betuka.
From the Medina Zongo Junction, I am Evelyn Tingma, TV3 News.
And that's just Medina area. There was chaos at Ablekuma, also at La Paz, many other areas in the Greater Accra region. We'll be crossing over also to speak to our correspondents in other parts of the country, in Kumasi, also for the latest on this. But joining me on the line is Musa Ibrahim, his spokesperson for the Coalition of Commercial Transport Operators. Thank you for joining me, Musa. So this action by your members, as you have heard, bit hard. Commuters were stranded for several hours early today. Has there been any decision as we speak this minute to cancel this particular action?
As we speak, leadership is still weighing the options, and I'm sure by close of day we will have an official announcement as to the way forward.
And so, as we speak, people will remain stranded at the various terminals. Is that what the case is?
We have also seen that, and we anticipated this sort of difficulty. And that was part of the reason why, in announcing this strike, we had to postponed it several times, just giving government the opportunity to also at least take some pragmatic steps in relation to our demands. Okay. Unfortunately, that didn't happen early enough, so this is what we are all having to endure with.
Do I get it that as we speak, there have been calls on you now to get into a meeting to attempt to resolve the problem, for which reason you are saying we'll have a definite pronouncement on this by close of day?
Can you repeat your question, sir?
I'm wondering if there's been any overtures by the government to you following the action you embarked on early today, and if that is the reason why you are hoping by close of day you have a definite pronouncement on this.
Yes, government is giving us signals, and I think so far what is happening from the very top is encouraging, but we don't want to go ahead of ourselves yet. We will rather wait and then see what comes out by close of day.
We also understand that you are going into a meeting shortly over all of this. Is that correct?
Do you trust yourself?
Precisely. Our source makes us understand that you have, invitation from presidency and people in the presidency to engage on this. Is that the case?
We will be part of that meeting, and you will be informed duly after the meeting of the outcome. Okay.
Musa Ibrahim there, thank you for joining us. He's a spokesperson for the commercial or the coalition of commercial transport operators speaking to us, and that he has just mentioned that they're going into a meeting. But we also have a statement from the GPRTU, which has been announcing a suspension of the action that has already impacted a lot of people early today. They say they have a communication from the presidency to suspend this action, so they go into a meeting of sorts to attempt to resolve the impasse. But this, we know, in the last 4 hours has been affecting a lot of individuals in very different places in Accra, in Kumasi, in the Western region, in Tamale. Even though some of the drivers decided to park their cars, some others decided to work. We know that the drivers from the Ghana National Cargo Transport Union and its associated unions in the Northern region also poured onto the streets early today to demonstrate and press home their demand for the fuel price hikes to be reduced. The drivers say they are disappointed in government for failing to reduce the prices. They warned of imminent shortage of food and other goods if government fails to adhere to their calls to reduce the prices of fuel. The drivers in Tamale, while demonstrating in their red head and armbands, stopped all moving cargo trucks causing traffic in the metropolis. We understand police personnel were deployed to the area to ensure some calm.
All the vehicles to the back, no vehicles to move. So everybody's aware. But you know some increments of the foil. We are doing with sit down strike at the Ghana National Cargo Transport. All the unions. We're not going to go until government come out and reduce the reduce the foil for us. Because of that, we are here. We are on the sit down strike process. Because of that, we are here.
And as you know, it was a good day for ride-hailing apps as drivers since morning doubled their sales following the high demand of their services. They say business has so far been good.
To Papaya Stretch, within the hours of 8 a.m. and 12 noon, this zone is actually known for ride-hailing drivers who park here to get services, render services to commuters. And following the strike action by the commercial transport drivers, that is the Cho-Cho drivers, it seems it's a field day for these ride-hailing apps, i.e. Bolt, Uber, Yango, etc. Their absence here should mean a lot.
The demand is high, and anytime the demand is high, then the prices also goes up. So for me, it's working.
Every Monday, Uber driver price normally go up. That's how it is. Sometimes a double.
Well, so far I've picked about 15, and by this time on the regular, I might be around 5. So your money is good since there is no total moving.
The business is moving faster and the prices are higher a little bit, but still, that's not what I want. I want the full price to reduce down.
How much have you made so far?
Oh, I've doubled my money. I've passed 200.
And for the commuters, they have no choice but to use the services of these ride-hailing apps.
So I was like, when all year was like 18 cedis. So how come I'm paying 60 cedis? So like, I was like, I'm not going to, but it was trying to create a scene, so I have to keep in the 60 cedi at all costs.
So it's obvious prices have shot up astronomically, and they say as demand rises, the prices also go up. For these commuters, they are ready to pay any amount because the public transport is unavailable. Nana Ekia Mensa Brampa, TV3, Osu, Oxford Street.
So from Osu, let's head to one of the busiest and most populated transport terminals, which is the Circle Odona station, where my colleague Judith Awachitando reports many passengers are still stranded without vehicles to convey them to their locations. We'll be joined by Judith Awachitando with the latest from the Circle Odona station in a short time. Let's hear from her. We'll be working the lines to get through to Judith Awachitando to bring us those updates. But you know also that in the last few minutes, a statement from the GPRTU has come, and that has been declaring the suspension of the action by the transport operators across the country, pending a meeting with the officials from the presidency. We hopefully now have a connection to
following the strike earlier this morning. Well, it's been about 4 hours since the strike began, and it's evident that drivers still do not want to move their cars anywhere. But passengers, as you can see, are still sitting in their cars. They say that they still want to move, and drivers are telling them that they are not going to move their cars. While there are some passengers here by me, we'll be speaking to some of them to see the effect of the strike on them. Madam, Patron, what to say?
I'm here to move.
Inti Patron, what now? How many hours?
Oh, but 2 hours.
2 hours. Strike now affect you, saying?
Affect me. Affect me. Perhaps by this time, I say, come with you.
Now we cotton yama na we coffee.
We cotton and they are me coffee.
Oh, okay. They say they want me in baby. Okay, so she says that she's been here for 2 hours. She's been sitting in this car for 2 hours. The drivers do not want to move their cars because of the strike, and it's affecting her a lot because she's unable to go home. She came to town to sell, and she's unable to go home. Pacho, your friend?
Jonathan.
Pacho, your mate and
passenger.
Oh, yeah, passenger. And to say, what and how many hours?
I say, I know Pabbe 6 na me fifi we talk ala. Me construction man na me de koye adwuma. Na ma be do a me job boy society na me da won ti after now 12 aboy a me nyan koye.
Is it from 6 to 12?
Na me da won ti ai.
Oh, okay. Na drivers necessary.
Almost munko esan strike ni nti. Kwan no so me an pa me ba no me ya dance ni me ba na kwan na block nti. Nkakra sa na edi bedu circle. Asisi aye kon so a yaka kwan mu. Nti de ekoso no me de aha me pa because me ja me boy society. I was me nkone enkoye adwuma about 12 e be sira ye adwuma. Ti bibia asai.
Okay, so this is a construction worker. He says he's been here since 6 o'clock. He's been sitting in this car waiting for them to move. They have refused to move, and it's affecting him. He's unable to work as well. It's to say, I hope the government here.
Sisi ade omo man de we ekono e so mo tete ne ma so na ye nyina ye ho han ye nkakra because sisi ade youth no especially ye brankasa ne ma nkoyi oji adwuma nipa na obetua oka no kra mpo obre ahe na ode be ma wo be charge no e be ba na sika fia na e be kitawo nti ye sre no ono anhwe no tete ne ma so na ye so ye ho han kakra na ye bre.
He's asking government to reduce the prices of transport fares, taxes, and every other thing that is going to allow them to move and go to their various destinations. There are some drivers here as well. Pacho, your friend say?
Yeah.
Okay, your friend say?
Oh, you may family Nanaya.
Okay, Nanaya, we are driver.
Pacho, that be me mate.
Now, I see a Muslim movie. Over say I'm here.
Oh, this year the agent penifo na na etimi ka bibi ansa na etimi ehu de ebe ye.
But say na money adwuma na affect mo.
Oh, yeah, they am affect ye mum.
Woni mane yerenom na nyama.
Me dey bi. Eno dey me ni problem o.
Iti when nya sika kra affect.
Ha me kura.
Ade na ha.
Oh, na me sen na medi.
Me say na medi. Nti no me dey medi ne dey.
Just we adwuma ni na wonya like mfa so mba ho nti sese akra de enye hwe.
Diesel ne dey say dey koslo ne dey obepon obe adwuma obe sola homrache be around 4:30 the whole day and adwo be 12 obepon. Unya hwe obebla ma ka wo na ne diesel fuel. Obepon 30 Ghana 40 Ghana. Enye ti yesre aban so obe dey obet ada say obeti diesel no so ana say obetu fuel no mama ye. No a problem.
Okay, so this is a driver's mate. He has been telling us that he is not really being affected by the strike. Why? Because he says that even when he works on a normal day, when there's no strike, even when he works, he doesn't really get too much of profits because he gets about 40 cedis or anything. There's another driver here. Pacho Efra was saying.
My friend Ben Amwa.
Ben Amwa.
Yeah.
It's Pacho Ben. Sesia no strike na kosui affect one.
Yes, affect me pa because me could ankwada. Oh, fee be 1 month ni. Ya adwuma kura this is kura yintumi nto. This is 1 gallon 35. Sesia you know. Sesia no so anu odin. Nti ya adwuma na ye hu so. Me sesia a week is say me koye almost 10.9 me kura 5 million. And that so ye be adwuma no. And that strike here asan bai. Nti government no omobody answer obepue out. No one back as an driver for you to me, you money, and so you be compared. You don't know. Oh, fish are not high and cassette. Oh, and to a mobile dance to be put, and an on cassa said this and obey you so only so me you won't conquer a befast. So you better drive near Tenefia near Tenefia, Copa, and Mafra near Coy. Fiano pa, many second car. Says ya, I'm about 1 o'clock, and at 12 o'clock, at tonight, mean 2 back here. Me ka wona nim say me ye adwuma sisi am edema kwasis no se na yepa na 17 ye to aba man no na wa betena so na sisi okwan ode yen fa so no wa hwe ni ya yen driver fu ye doso si o mem nipa nyina anti omobode an say on sakra na adwene no on mabua ye na yentumi ye adwuma na so ye nya den de abada bi mano se na be
Our Tando there from the Circle Odona station speaking to some drivers and commuters. Now, some drivers who mounted roadblocks around Ablekuma where protesting drivers parked their vehicles early today were arrested by the police. The frustrated drivers have been confronting other drivers who have decided to suspend services today over fuel price hikes and the imposition of some taxes. Several passengers were stranded this morning at various places. We'll bring you the latest, but here is what my colleague Eric Marinagbeta found when he visited the Ablekuma area.
It appears they are getting the passengers to alight from the vehicles, which has resulted in a...
So Marina joins me in studio for a conversation. Marina, you were earlier at Ablekuma where it's all turned chaotic, you know, as early as 5 a.m. because a lot of people were stranded. So tell us, how bad was it exactly?
Right, so it's an area where a lot of the drivers leave headed towards town from, and so from Manhiana, Fuaman, these are areas where drivers get most of their passengers from, then they get to Ablekuma and continue from there. And so getting to Ablekuma, even before you get there was heavy vehicular traffic, which was quite unusual for a day where you didn't expect drivers to be working. And getting there, I found out that the drivers who were not supposed to be working had taken over portions of the road, had blocked some portions of the road, and were seeking to get all vehicles who had passengers on board to get off these passengers and then leave empty. There were policemen around, but at that point in time, as early as 5 a.m. headed towards 6 a.m., they were a bit overwhelmed because there was an Ayalolo bus at one point which had loaded to capacity, which the driver stopped and insisted to have all the passengers come down or else will not allow the bus move. And so it was that chaotic, resulting in heavy traffic around that area with persons headed towards Pokwasi not able to do so, persons headed towards Accra, La Paz and the likes also not able to move because the drivers had taken over the streets and were insisting that their own colleagues will not be able to leave. And if you have your own private vehicle and you want to leave, you cannot be able to do so as well.
And fast forward 3 or 4 hours later, we understand some of the drivers were arrested because They were mounting roadblocks, etc. Tell us about how that played out.
Right. So earlier, the police obviously were overwhelmed. There was reinforcement, which resulted in a lot more police personnel coming in. There was a water cannon truck, which came around with over 10 police officers I saw heavily armed, where they came in and began to restore calm. And then they began to pick up some of the drivers who they believed attacked some of the police officers during the attempts to call the situation and calm nerves. And
Do we know how many of them?
Numbering 5 to 10.
Okay.
Before I got there, some of them had been picked up already, put in a van, and so we couldn't come. But I counted 3 persons who were picked up and put in the van. And just before we left the area to head back here, they moved them, headed towards the Anya police station, where the understanding we get is that they'll be processed and dealt with according to the law.
And you've been speaking to the municipal chief executive for the South area. I'm sure we'll be hearing from him if that clip is ready. But tell us, going forward, when you were leaving, had there been some calm restored to the area?
Relative calm, but still the drivers are not working. And so if you're leaving the area, you still find lots of passengers who are stranded, in the hope that with all of the calm that has been restored, the drivers would then begin to work so they can head towards town. But that appears not to be happening, or it doesn't look like it will happen, because with the arrest of some of their colleagues, it has angered the drivers who say they are no longer going to work at all. I think we've seen some statements coming in seeking to suggest that the strike has been suspended. They are angered because some of their colleagues have been picked up, and so they have no intent at all to leave the station to head towards anywhere to pick passengers.
All right, we can now listen to the South Municipal Chief Executive who spoke to my colleague Eric Marinaigbeta a short time ago.
Was a woman, I believe she was taking her newly born baby to the hospital. He opened the door and was going to attack the newly born baby. The police rushed in and he injured one of the policemen. We can't sit down and allow just some few people to hijack the security of the area, to refuse to allow people to move about, going about their normal duties. That one, I don't think it should be tolerated. If you have decided that you know work, fine. But those who have decided that they will load people, you don't even know who they are and where they are going. You start to attack and destroy their vehicles. Such things will not be tolerated. Grievances they have, government is more than willing and ready to sit down with them to talk. But if they don't engage in talks and they go ahead destroying people's properties, as we are talking now, some of the people whose vehicles they have destroyed and attacked have come to complain. So there is a complainant. There are complainants, not even one, and it becomes a criminal offense then.
He is the Municipal Chief Executive for the South area, speaking to Eric Marinaigbeta, who was here a short time ago. In a related development, drivers in the 3 regions of the former Bono region did not join their counterparts in other parts of the country to embark on this particular action. My colleague, Larry Pakwisi-Moses, is joining me from the area. Larry, tell us, do we get an understanding why these drivers did not join their counterparts, say in Greater Accra, in parts of Tamale, on this action? I'm afraid we do not have a connection to Larry Pakwisi-Moses. We'll be working to get through to him to understand why the drivers in the Bono region, the Bono East region, failed to join their counterparts in the Greater Accra region on this action, which we now know has been, severely felt in many parts of the country. Also in Kumasi, our correspondent Ibrahim Abubakar reports that the planned sit-down did not also come off over there because the drivers say they're waiting for a said meeting with officials from the presidency over the matter, for which reason their action was suspended.
Most drivers here in Kumasi are not complying with directives by some transport union for a sit-down strike. Now this morning, a number of them are still picking passengers. In fact, some of them are even fighting over passengers. At the various terminals that we visited, they are loading to their various destination.
Like no yenya ebeko. Na de omni say ye konso a ye rene ye ma ombe da didi. Enti de ye kan say ada say keska no ombe tu keska no e de amaye. So omuntu musu dia no omuntifu wane so emfa maye. So omantu so amaye dia na che say I say case kala na say wedding omutumi di mai.
Here at the GPRTU terminal, the situation remains the same. The drivers are working, and the regional branch of GPRTU has been explaining to us why they are working this morning.
We agreed to embark on sit-down strike today, Monday, 6 December 2021. But as at yesterday night, we had a signal from our national chairman that the leadership of the nation, which is the presidency, had intervened in the matter, and therefore we must suspend the strike till they finish their discussions with the leadership of the government. Hence, our refusal to embark on that sit-down strike today. As it stands, we are waiting for the outcome of their meeting before we take another steps. If indeed it is not up to our satisfaction, the national leaders, our leaders will let us know. So we've not entered into good terms with the government. So we are continuing with the strike or otherwise.
Their next line of action will be determined by the outcome of a meeting between leadership of the transport union and the presidency. And we'll be following this keenly and update you subsequently. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi.